If Jesus is God, why did he pray to God? Why would God pray to himself? This single question has caused people to doubt Christianity, reject the deity of Christ, and walk away from faith altogether. Skeptics use it as a weapon. Even believers struggle to explain it. Jesus prayed in secret. He prayed all night. He wept in Gethsemane and said, "Not my will, but yours." So what's going on here? Today, we're diving straight into one of the deepest and most beautiful mysteries of Christianity, the Incarnation. And by the end of this video, this question won't weaken your faith. It will strengthen it. This question sounds logical on the surface. People say, if Jesus is God, why did he ask God for help? If Jesus is divine, why did he say, "Not my will"? Doesn't prayer prove Jesus isn't God? But here's the problem. This question assumes something the Bible never teaches. It assumes Jesus stopped being God when he became human. And that assumption changes everything. Philippians 2 tells us something crucial. Though he was in the form of God, Jesus did not grasp his equality with God, but emptied himself, taking the form of a servant. Notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say Jesus gave up his divinity. It says he added humanity. Jesus is fully God and fully man at the same time. Not 50-50, not God pretending to be human. 100% God, 100% human, and that changes how we understand his prayers. When Jesus prayed, he wasn't acting. He wasn't pretending. He was experiencing humanity exactly as we do: hunger, exhaustion, sorrow, temptation, pain. As a man, Jesus depended on the Father. As a man, he needed communion with God. As a man, he modeled submission, trust, and obedience. That's why Hebrews says, "We do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses." Jesus prayed not because he lacked power, but because he shared our condition. If Jesus never prayed, he wouldn't be a true example. If he never depended on the Father, he wouldn't fully identify with us. His prayers prove his humanity, not the absence of his divinity. This is where many people get stuck. Christianity doesn't teach that God is one person. It teaches God is one being in three persons. The Father is not the Son is not the Spirit, but all three are fully God. So when Jesus prayed, he wasn't praying to himself, he was the Son communicating with the Father. This relationship existed before creation. Jesus said, "Father, glorify me in your presence with the glory I had with you before the world existed." That means prayer wasn't something new. It was eternal relationship expressed in a human life. In Gethsemane, we see the most human moment of Jesus' life. He sweat blood. He was overwhelmed, and he prayed, "Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not my will, but yours." This wasn't weakness. This was obedience under unbearable weight. His human will recoiled from pain. His divine mission remained unshaken. This prayer reveals something astonishing. Jesus knows fear and chooses obedience anyway. That's not contradiction. That's love. Jesus praying tells us three life-changing truths. First, God understands human struggle. Second, Jesus models how to trust God in suffering. And third, prayer isn't weakness, it's alignment. If Jesus prayed, how much more do we need to pray? Didn't make Jesus less divine. It revealed how deeply God stepped into our world. God didn't shout instructions from heaven. He knelt in the dust and prayed with us. So why did Jesus pray, if he is God incarnate? Because God chose to experience humanity fully. Because the Son eternally relates to the Father. Because salvation required not just power, but obedience. And because love stoops. That's the Incarnation. Not a contradiction, a mystery. And the greatest expression of divine humility ever seen. If this explanation strengthened your faith or answered a question you've always wrestled with, hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Did this change how you see Jesus' prayers? Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the deepest truths require us to slow down and listen.